In this example, it says the data below shows the number of points scored for a basketball team during 10 games. So here you have your data set, and they want you to find the mean, median, mode, range, and standard deviations. First thing we're going to find is the mean. If you remember, in order to find the mean, all you do is you add all your numbers in the data set and you divide the sum of those numbers by the total number of data. So in here we have 10 different numbers. So we're going to go ahead and add all of our numbers, and that'll give us 704, and we're going to divide 704 by 10, and that'll give us 70.4. This tells us that our mean is 70.4. Now let's move on to find the median. In order to find the median, we have to put all our numbers in order from smallest to greatest. Once we do that, then we can go ahead and find our median. Next thing we do is simultaneously we cross out the numbers from each end until we end up with one or two numbers in the middle. In this case, since we have an even number of data, we end up with two numbers in the middle. We take the average of those numbers, which gives us 72. Now, the mode is the number that appears the most. There's only one number that appears more than once, and that's 80. The range is the maximum minus the minimum. 80 take away 54 will give us 26. Standard deviation, we're going to use this formula. It says S is equal to the square root of the sum of x minus x with a bar on top squared divided by n minus 1. X is our data. X with the bar on top, that's our average or our mean. And n represents the number of data that we have. In this case, we have 10 pieces of data. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to set up our chart like this and get all of our information so that we can go ahead and find our standard deviation. Now to fill in my chart, I'm just going to use the numbers that I have here to the right that are already in order. You don't have to put them in order, but since I have them here and I can see them, I'll put them into the chart. Now, we already found out that our mean was 70.4, but we're going to round that off to 70. For the next part, you take the difference of each value and the mean. 54 minus 70 equals negative 16, and that's for our first one. After that, for the next column, you take the square of the value that you just got, and you end up with this. At the end of it all, we have to add all of those values because we need the sum, and you divide it all by 9. You end up with the square root of 84.22222, etc. And that gives you 9.177. So finally, we know that our standard deviation is about 9.17, or rounded off to 9.2.